Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Wednesday Waffle. If this is the first time you're coming across this face, or like it's the first time you've been on the channel but it's the first time you're coming across this kind of videos, this is a series that I've been doing. It's been 9 weeks so far of me consistently posting about topics that I find significant and things that I've been learning throughout the entire week, and kind of put them in a video format and kind of share them with you guys. It's also a way of like catching up with you guys and filling you guys in on whatever is going on in my thoughts and in my life in some perspectives. So Allahumma lakal hamd. It's the end of January. This is the last week of January. Allahumma lakal hamd. And بكل صراحة, it's been a very good month, alhamdulillah. And yeah, Allahumma lakal hamd. And it's funny because like we kind of started these videos in a lamenting kind of way, or like with some lamenting aspects, like thinking about like ma عندنا وظيفة, I don't have a job at the moment, and I'm kind of in between so many things in my life right now, and some things are kind of like not going, or like they're not where I want them to be. لكن alhamdulillah, بكل صراحة, how بكل صراحة means in complete honesty for those of you who don't understand Arabic. لكن alhamdulillah, يعني if I was to choose another way, number one, I don't know another way, and then number two is that I'm glad it did happen this way, and the way things are unfolding يعني شوية شوية, slowly, I'm grateful about it. And I had a very long conversation one day with one of my mentors, and alhamdulillah for mentors, and they really reassured me in the sense of like tupata kazi, and learn to sit in this particular moment where it's like don't try and completely rush into it. Inshallah, it's gonna come. Whatever is yours will find you. Whatever is written for you will get you. You know, you just have to keep looking. This has been a very common theme over on my Instagram lately. Every post I make, every reels and everything, it's been kind of centered around this particular notion. And بكل صراحة alhamdulillah for كل شيء, for everything, and how it's like coming about and how it's unfolding and everything. So yeah, this particular mentor of mine like tells me that, like, learn to sit in this particular moment. Don't rush it in like pop, you're looking for the next thing, because even in some aspects of like the next phase that you're going to be are going to need the aspects of you that are in this particular moment, just to make it make a lot more sense. If you think about, for example, internship, the process that we all have to go through to get our licenses and everything after finishing medical school and graduating and all the exams, blah blah blah, is that if you didn't do school really well, or like you ulitelekeza so many parts of the school, you're going to just you're going to have a very difficult time during internship. Not in the sense of like it's undoable or anything, but it's like you are going to have a very, I would say, hard transition. Even if you passed in school, for example, but maybe like you just passed by the mark kind of thing. It's like if you really struggled. I'm not saying that everybody who struggled in school is gonna struggle in internship. Of course, the learning scape and the landscape is different. Like there are some aspects of like doing well in school are going to help you during internship, because there are some basic things like you're not going to be learning anymore. It's like you're going to just be refining them and like adding on to your skill sets and everything of that kind of matter. So like even in this particular phase of my life, Allahumma lakal hamd, it's like, yes, I do need a job, I do want a job, I'm looking forward to getting a job bi'idhnillah, but it's like, what am I learning in this particular phase? What am I gathering that is something in the form of a skill set that I can use bi'idhnillah in the future, or maybe just take a code of it and realize that this is something I've learned, this is something I've picked, this is something I can use in the future bi'idhnillah, that can make me a better person, a better clinician, a better service provider for my patients, and even a better person in complete reality and the context of life in general. So Allahumma lakal hamd, alhamdulillah. And if you've been watching these videos from like episode 1 of the Wednesday Waffle, and perhaps maybe you've just been following up and everything, I really highly encourage you to adopt this system of looking back and like reflecting on your days, reflecting on your weeks, reflecting on your months. Because bikul saraha, again, I kind of tend to use that word a lot, but in complete honesty, it's that if you do not take a pause and look back at everything that's going on in your life, everything that's happening, yani how it's happening, how everything is going about, one, you're not going to be able to, and this is something I speak about in previous videos, but it's something that I really highly emphasize because of the significance it has, in that you're able to just like see that, why am I stressing about this thing? Okay, the ABCD, or like, what is this thing has become a very difficult thing to deal with. What is the difficulty in this, and what is the solution, and who can I ask for help? Who can help me with this? You know, how can I make the process better? What results am I looking for? How am I going to be able to achieve it? It's a very crucial element. And when you talk about yani fiddin, or yani in the context of living life, where we are told that hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu, take account of your actions, take account of yourselves before account is taken for you. Qabla hawa yasabu hisabul nafsin qabla yasabu, you know. So it's a really important task that I think we should all embody, and even in the slightest kind of ways. It's just like a 5-minute thing. You can just sit down and just think about your weeks and how they've been, how you've performed this week, what maybe was a challenge, what is something you're struggling with, are some ways that you can even do better. And even sometimes when it becomes difficult to even maybe get solutions, because not every single time you're going to review a process you're going to be able, number one, to identify what the problem is, but you're also not guaranteed to be having solutions for that particular problem, if at all you do realize it in that particular time, and to provide the solution and actually do something about it. But the fact that you recognize that there is something going on, even if you're not able to find it out, it's something that keeps you aware. And people talk about self-awareness all the time, but awareness in general, even of your surrounding, how you're feeling, what you're feeling, what's going on, and everything is really important, because it allows you not just to move, but it allows you to move objectively, move with reason, move with purpose, and everything of that kind of sort. So Allahumma lakal hamd. That is one side that I wanted to waffle about in this particular video. Number 2 is that alhamdulillah, YouTube has been going on so well, alhamdulillah. I've been meeting my goals in terms of like what I want to upload and how I want to upload it, kind of thing. And if you've been very keen on the channel, is that you've been seeing this, aside from the Wednesday Waffle videos, I'm trying to switch to more evergreen kind of content, but again, I'm going to make other content to kind of keep up with my primary audience. Let me say the people who followed me from like day ones and everything, the vlogs and everything, something is coming up inshallah. So let's just pray that things work out and like the content keeps on rolling bi'idhnillah. I know the dynamic is gonna change perhaps in the future when I get a job and I have like some time constraints, but I'm trying to learn a few systems and put in a few things and learn a few things along the process of like making these YouTube videos and scripting the videos and like trying to create a system that ensures sustainability, and inshallah that by the end of the year we are able to look back and see that I've met my goals. And yeah, and when it comes to goals, when it comes to YouTube, I kind of have shifted my perspective in terms of looking at outcome goals in terms of number of subscribers and everything, engagement, I don't know, comments, likes and everything. I've kind of toned it down because again it's something I do not have much control over. So when I think about it, it's like I'm more focused towards like input driven goals, where I'm like telling myself I want to upload this number of videos by the end of the year, bi'idhnillah, and kind of dividing it down, and like by the end of March, bi'idhnillah, I want to have uploaded this number of videos by the end of the Q2, Q3, Q4, in that kind of order. And like how does this translate to like every single week? And of course I try and be flexible with it, because I do understand like my schedule sometimes can be very very, I would say, mixed up with a lot of things. Speaking of schedules, again, yesterday I was reading something when I was like commuting to somewhere. I read about this article about a certain CEO with the time management and everything, and this is something also I've been coming across several times across the week, like listening to podcasts and everything. It's like, are you busy, like busy, or like are you doing things that actually matter? So I personally, in the spirit of opening up and sharing with you guys more about myself, is that when I used to be in school, one of the things I used to think, and I still do think I'm a workaholic to some extent, and this can really get you up. Like you can have a very big to-do list, but if you ask yourself, in this to-do list, what is the most important task? And this is what I've been trying to adopt recently, and you find that in this all myriad of things that you have like a very few, for me it's like a few, like I would say 4 to 5 sometimes recurring tasks that are really important for me, and like they push the needle forward. And for me, I tend to like focus more of my energy into doing those particular tasks because I know they have the highest kind of impact. So you kind of need to see those actions and know what those actions are, so that you can push the needle forward for yourself, and because those actions are gonna have the biggest impact. So in terms of like looking back at everything, reflecting, January is coming to an end and everything. So like just look back and see, in terms of the actions that you're taking, what has been having the most impact, what has been kind of derailing your progress, and what can wait, what can, like be attended to at a later time. In a very summarized format, is that just try and find what is the highest impact driven action, number one, and then number two, prioritize those actions. So when it comes to priorities, again, what I've been learning, and a question that has been, I don't want to lie and say it has been on my mind for the longest time. No, maybe it has been there, but this particular week it has surfaced a lot. And I do this kind of reflections mostly when I like walk and I'm like not doing anything, like commuting to one place to the other, doing these mundane tasks that don't need you to actually involve your brain, So I was thinking that subhanallah, I have tied a lot of significance into getting a job and my I as a clinician. And wallah bukul saraha, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just something that I've had to ask myself a question. If I wasn't a clinician, then sure knows what happens next. And to be honest, right now I am a clinician, but am I being a clinician? No, in the sense of like, am I practicing whatever knowledge I have or like skill set I have? No. Then what happens to my identity when I am not doing that particular thing? Have I tied so much significance to the sense that I see all my worth in having or not having the clinical job, or like doing something in accordance to whatever I've studied back in school and everything? Is my worth less if I'm not a clinician, or like what else do I have to offer if I'm not a clinician? I don't know how this is coming to you guys, but kind of breaking it down, it's like I've been trying so much to ask myself, aside from me knowing myself that I am a clinician, what else am I? And it hasn't been a walk in the park in terms of considering that the answers I give myself, and also thinking about how that question has, the impact that question has in terms of your identity as a person and what you do and everything. Of course, I do love being a clinician. I do enjoy medicine. I was even telling my family members today, alhamdulillah, that I really do miss being in the hospital. Like, subhanallah, yani, in as much as I do want a job, like I really do miss being in the hospital and everything, yani. Yeah, but alhamdulillah, yani, alhamdulillah. So again, it's like, yes, it's kind of making me, kind of pushing me to kind of find other aspects of myself and discover more about myself, leading on to more self-awareness, and again trying to use that knowledge to kind of salvage or like push myself forward in terms of knowing myself better, and kind of putting myself in situations and environments and actions, doing actions that suit me even better. Thinking about it again, one thing that has been bringing me comfort, alhamdulillah, واطمئنان, يعني, and a lot of peace, is that knowing that مع كل هذا يعني وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. And again, يعني كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر السبيل. يعني be in this world كأنك غريب، يعني as if you are جاني أو عابر السبيل, just like a traveler, you know. And الحياة الحقيقية هو الحياة الآخرة, and the true life is the life that is in the hereafter. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يرزقنا الجنة ويدخلنا الجنة الفردوس الأعلى بلا حساب ولا سابقة عذاب، إحنا ومن نحب، يعني اللهم آمين. So when I look at and reflect in this particular thing, in this kind of manner, again I ask myself, like, لو أنني مت اليوم, if I died today, would it have mattered that I didn't have a job? Would it have mattered that I didn't get to advance in my career and get to the epitome of it, maybe? لكن شنو what would have mattered the most وش اللي قدم، يعني what have you put forward for your آخرة، شو اللي سعيت فيه، what have you done in terms of عبادات, in terms of أوامر, and ترك المنكرات, and you know, many things that build up your akhirah. So يعني all this kind of reflective moments again is coming back to the ayah وابتغ فيما آتاك الله دار الآخرة ولا تنس نصيبك من الدنيا. Do what you can to strive for the akhirah. Put in the efforts. ولا تنس نصيبك من الدنيا, and also do not forget your portion in this world in terms of affairs and everything. So it's something that has also been guiding and helping me in terms of like my time and everything, how I kind of think about it and how I approach things, and how I move and how I think about things at this particular point. So Allahumma lakal hamd, it's been a journey and it's still continuing to be a journey. Alhamdulillah. All I can say is Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah for everything, and Alhamdulillah for how things are unfolding. And inshallah, I'm really excited to see what is there in the future. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys, and thank you again for giving me your time and listening to this portion of the Wednesday waffle. Thank you guys so much again for being here, and inshallah to every single one of you guys who is also kind of in a limbo, kind of in a difficult or like not so precedented path or like point or like phase in their life. As'alullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes things easier for you and brings peace and tranquility to whatever processes your heart, and grants you the heart and the capacity to be in whatever you are fully, and prepare yourself for everything else that is yet to come, and grant you all that you wish for and all that your heart desires. Jazakumullah khair, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.